I don't even think it's smart enough, right? So you continue editing your goal, working on it, right? Writing, expanding it to the point where you say, okay, this actually, it's clear enough, right? It's descriptive enough. Now, let's read this. So, no matter how demotivated you are, except discipline, you should be able to give at least 30 minutes. Okay? No, you might not do this consistently, right? But 30 minutes daily, spending 30 minutes daily, you understand, is doable. Who agrees with me? It's doable. We're talking about achievable, right? It doesn't overstretch you. You're not reading for 40 minutes. You're reading for only 30 minutes. You understand? You're reading for only 30 minutes. So it's actually doable. It's doable. I tell you the truth. 12 books on personal development by the end of 2026, dedicating 30 minutes daily to reading, right? Okay? Reading. This include, listen, this has to do with specificity, right? I'm being clear about what I want. I'm not just saying I will read books. You understand? And if you've watched my videos, you know I talk about it. You can be reading and your life is not changing. So it's not about reading, it's about the kind of materials you read. You understand? So this actually specifies the kind of books I will be reading in 2026. This include 3 books on communication, 2 books on mindset, 3 books on finances, 2 books on people management, and 2 books on marketing. Is it clear enough?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it clear enough? Now,
Yes,
this is
ma'am.
actually
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
Yes. So, okay, thank you, please mute. Thank you, please mute. Now, this is actually okay if you're starting, right? For beginners, it's okay. But for me, I will go further. I will not just say I will dedicate 30 minutes daily to reading. That's not what I will say. I will specify the number of pages I will read, okay, in that 30 minutes. You know why? I'm going to tell you why. Do you know that you can be reading for 30 minutes and you're only reading just 2 pages for 30 minutes? It's possible. You can be reading, and because you're distracted, your mind is going through one paragraph over and over and over and over again. True of us.
True.
True.
This is why I said you should understand yourself. Self-discovery is important. So you know your weaknesses. You study your patterns. You can be reading for 30 minutes. In fact, you can read for 30 minutes, and the only thing you're able to read is just 1 page. While you're there, your mind is just there. 30 minutes, the first 10 minutes will count, the first 20 minutes will count, then the 30 minutes, and then 30 minutes, it's over. You can't even say, this is what I got from it, right? So me, I'll add, okay? I'll edit this further for myself. This is okay for beginners. For myself, I would specify the numbers of pages I would read, explaining to you that you must understand, okay, if this is the kind of person you are, that sometimes when you pick up your book and you could be very distracted. And me, I can be distracted, and my distraction might be coming from my work, right? Oh, I have to call this person. Oh, I have to ask this person for their report. Oh, I have to send this person a message to know if they are consistent. Do you understand? All of these things are good. They're actually good, but at that time, I don't want to be thinking at that time. I really want to focus on my book at that time. So what I do is I make it as straight as possible, right? Yes, to foster my focus. I hope you understand. So this is an example. I hope you screenshot this, right? If you don't have to struggle, if you go on YouTube and you just search for SMART goals, there are lots of illustrations there, explanations there that you can learn from, right? I learned this myself some years back, so you too can learn too, right? You don't have to depend on this, the program itself. You can as well consider improving yourself and learning more. Now let's move on. Let's move on. Why goals fail? Why goals often fail? If you're following me, please, I want to see your emojis. If you're following, I want to see your emojis. Now, why goals often fail? What's the first one we talked about? Who can unmute and tell me why goals often fail? The first one we talked about.
Poor goal setting.
Poor goal setting.
Goal planning.
Poor goal settings.
Okay, poor goal setting. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So the second one we want to talk about is system. Poor system. What's a system? I'm going to rush this, so just follow me, right? Poor system. Now, what's a system? When you hear system, what comes to your mind? What should come to your mind when you hear system? System is a set of actions and routines that help you reach your goal. Now, think about it. Just think of it like this. Your goal is a destination. Your goal is a destination. I'm going to Lagos. That's a destination. I'm going to Abuja. That's a destination. A system is the route you take to get there, to get to the destination. The route you take to get to Lagos from Benin City, that's a system. So the set of things, the actions that you take, the processes that are involved in achieving your goals, that's a system, right? So why goals often fail? Poor system. Most of us here, I'm going to tell us the truth, right? Let's be blunt for some time, for a moment. You know what you want to do, but you don't know what to do to get the results. You know the exact result you want, but you don't know what exactly you need to do to get the results. And that's where the confusion comes from. That's where the frustration comes from. You're always trying the wrong thing. You want to do something and then you're trying the wrong thing. You want to achieve a particular result and you're using the wrong system. And frustration comes from there. So ask yourself, listen to me there. Listen to me, everyone. Ask yourself, what are the necessary steps, the actions and processes that must be completed to achieve my goals? Do you understand? You want to get into school. You want to be admitted into school to study law or to study medicine. You have to write exams, right? It's a process for it, right? Exactly. That's it. So ensure that you know the right system for your goals. And I'm just going to give you one example, right? This is something everybody can relate with. Okay? There's some of us here, for example, we want to lose weight. I'm drifting a bit. We want to lose weight. You want to lose weight. You want to lose 10 pounds. You want to lose 5 pounds and all of that. I have also lost weight myself, okay? In the past few months, I've lost quite a lot. Okay? Now, some of us here, you want to lose weight. And then the first thing you do is you head to the gym, which is actually good. It's good. But that is the easiest way to become frustrated. But here's the truth, scientifically proven, right? The way you burn your fat is not through exercise. Exercise can only do 15% of it. How you burn fat quickly is by eating in a caloric deficit. Do you understand? So if as a beginner, you've not been going to the gym, you don't like the gym, it's very stressful, and then because you want to lose weight, the first thing you do is to head straight to the gym. That's the easiest way to become frustrated, right? Because by the end of it, you'll be giving too much, doing a lot of exercise, right? Because you want to lose weight. And after a month, you've not dropped at all. True of us, the gym people here can actually attest to the fact, right? After a month, you will feel better. You become more fit, right? You feel better and all of that. However, you want to lose weight. The scale, the counting or the reading on the scale might just be the same. Why? Because that's not the right system. It's not the complete system. When you want to lose weight, the scientifically proven method is to eat in the caloric deficit. Go on calorie deficit. You have to starve yourself a bit by giving yourself less calorie than your body demands to keep your current weight. So your body is on deficit, and then what does your body start doing? It starts eating your fat, using your fat as fuel to run your, to power your system. That's how you lose weight. When you have poor system, you can get frustrated, and then you think you're the person who is wrong. You might just think it's, sometimes we blame ourselves. You might just think you are unlucky, unfortunate. That's not true. You're using the wrong system. So every time, now here's the question. Here's the question, okay? Here's the question. Let me ask you a question. What must I do? What must I do to achieve my goals, right? I want to set goals for 2026. What must I do to achieve my goals? right? I want to go to school. It means I have to pass exams and meet the requirements, like I talked about, right? I want to make more sales in 2026. What should I do? All of these things, ask yourself. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's not enough to say, I want to achieve XYZ, because XYZ is a result. We've talked about it. There are series of processes or completed actions that bring about the results that you want. So what are those processes? Now, here's the question. You might say, Coach, what if I don't know what to do? Okay. What if I haven't done it before? How do I even know the right system? If I'm asking the right question in your mind, please let me know. I just want to be sure. Else, I won't talk about it.
Yeah, you're right.
Good. So in a situation where you don't know what to do, right? You've not done it before. So now here's the thing. Listen, what are we here for? It's personal development. Just in case, because I know my people and you people know me well. I know you guys. But somebody might unmute themselves when it's question time. You ask me, okay, coach, I want to start a business and this is this. What do you expect me to do? Well, that's not my jurisdiction. So I'm not going to answer you. Okay? So what are we here for? We're here for personal development. Good. So you have to learn. You have to learn to learn. There is nothing you want to do today that someone else hasn't done before or tried before. So you do your research. Do your research. Go on YouTube. Learn. Read blogs. Learn from people with results. How was this person able to do XYZ? Learn. Learn. In fact, learn to learn. You should teach yourself to learn. Does it make sense? So here's the question I ask again. For the goals you have set or you plan to set for 2026, what steps and actions must you take to achieve them? So don't just write the results you want. As you're writing your goal, I want to make more sales. You should have done your research to know, okay, fine, this is what I need to do, what I need to know to make more sales. So while you're setting your goals, write down the system, the series of processes and the steps you would take to achieve the particular goal. I hope you understand. If you're still following, please drop your emoji.
Yes,
Now let's move on to the next. We've talked about systems, right? Right? Why goals often fail? Why goals often fail? Why goals often fail? Structure. Let's talk about structure. Poor structure. Oh, coach, why are you confusing me? You talked about system and now you're talking about structure. What do you mean system structure? This is really confusing. Relax. What is structure? Structure is simple. It's the simplest part of it, and it is where we fail. When you hear structure, remember, let me draw your attention to something. System, I said, is the actions and the steps, you must take to achieve your goal. But structure is the environment, the arrangement that support your goals. Very, very simple. How you choose to arrange yourself, arrange your space, your tools, put the little things you put in place to foster your focus, to support consistency. That's what structure is about. And this is where most of us get the concept of discipline wrong. Yes. Is it structure? Blessed, please mute yourself. Blessed, please mute yourself. Thank you. Thank you. So when you think about structure, think of it as the setup. Structure is the setup you have, or the little arrangement, the adjustment you make to help yourself stay focused. Nobody would do that for you. And this is where most of us feel, honestly. Here's the thing. Let's talk about system. System is what you need to do to achieve your goals, the actions, the steps to achieve your goal. Let's be honest. For most of us, it's not like we lack the wrong system. We have the right system. You know exactly, you want to achieve A, B, C, and you know exactly deep down, you know what you need to do to get the results you want, right? Sometimes I get to converse with some of us in our coaching sessions, and I hear things like, Coach, I know this is the result I want, and I know these are the steps I need to take and all of that. However, that's not the problem for most of us. It's not a system. The problem we have is the structure. So it's one thing to know what you need to do. It's another thing to get yourself to do what needs to be done. So structure is how you get yourself to do what needs to be done. That's what structure is about. I hope we understand, and I hope we're following.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So structure is the things you put in place to help yourself stay consistent. Now, for example, let me give us a very simple one. Simplicity is the goal for today so that everybody will follow. Now, for example, do you know that sleeping early so that you can wake up early enough to do your morning routines is a structure? Setting a rule for yourself to sleep early. We do that, okay? Some of my personal development students, they do that. They understand these things. Setting your rule, having a personal rule to sleep early so that you can wake up early and do at least 50 to 60% of your morning routines before other people even start waking up. That's a structure. Number 2, choosing not to use your devices, choosing not to use your phones, your gadgets, your laptop until a certain time of the day. That's another structure. That's a structure. Number 3, let's say setting an alarm for every task you want to complete so you don't forget. That's another structure. Personally, these days, I set alarm to take drugs. You cannot remember everything. You're not a robot. I'm not ChatGPT. There is so much on my plate. There's so many responsibilities on you, right? There are certain things that you have to set the right structure in order for you to even remember them. So for me, these days, it's even drugs. Like to take drugs, I have to set alarm. So here's a question. Another thing I would like to say when it comes to structure, accountability system is structure. And most of us lack it. Accountability system is part of structure. Having a coach, having an accountability partner, some accountability tools that you can use, some templates you get on Notion, right? For example, Habits Tracker, Goal Tracker, all of those other accountability tools. These things are structures. These things are the little things that you can put in place to ensure that you don't to ensure you don't become frustrated because oh my God, please let's move on. Thank you Jesus. Let's move on. Here's something I would like to say as we move on. Here's something I would like to say, everybody. The truth is, we're fond of blaming ourselves. Most of us are fond of calling ourselves names, right? You blame yourself, you call yourself names. I'm this, I'm that, I'm very inconsistent, I'm a procrastinator, I'm indisciplined, I'm everything bad. But the truth is, we're being unfair to ourselves. You've never given yourself the right environment to grow. Most of us, you've never given yourself. You think you're dull. Some of us think we are dull. Sometimes I get messages, Coach, why am I dull? I read books I don't understand. You've never taken time to study, to learn how you understand. Study yourself. That's the way I understand something. We don't function the same way. Most of us, we are so fond of calling ourselves names when we've never given ourselves the right resources, the right materials, and even the right environment to grow. Let's move on, please. I don't want to dwell here. I think I have soft spot for this, so it's better to control myself. That's self-control. But let's move on. Why goals often fail? Number 4, not planning for setbacks. I hope you're still following. Why goals often fail? Number 4, not planning for setback. Who do you think you won't fail? You think you won't fail. Who do you think you are? Let me know. Until you failed, you don't have a story. If you're not failed, get out of my front. You don't have anything to tell me because you've not been through my pains. So one of the reasons our goals fail is because we don't plan for setbacks. We always think about success. We always think about the achievement, the success part. I want to do this as successful as I do. Really? Are you serious? Thank God you are not God, and God decides to do whatever He wants. So here's ask yourself, right? As you set your goals, or after setting your goals for 2026, after defining your vision, writing down your vision, ask yourself this question. Okay? Please state the questions. I want you to reflect. Time for Joe. Really reflect these questions. First question. What if you become demotivated? What if I become writing all beautiful things you need to relate to your vision? Okay? Having your vision as the overall picture, right? Which is very good. But here's the question for you. What if you become demotivated along the line? What if you become inconsistent? What would you do? Would you abandon your goals? What if the system fails? Because systems do fail sometimes. What if the system fails? What if the system fail you? Because sometimes a system can fail you. It doesn't mean the system is bad. There are some systems that just won't work in your situation, right? Yes, you understand. So it's possible. So, but what if the system fails? Another very important question. Thank God I remember this. What could demotivate me or make me inconsistent? Every time you look at your goals, the goals you have set for yourself, ask yourself, what could demotivate me or make me inconsistent? There could be something about your goals that scares you and you don't know until you get to the point where you have to implement, and then you become demotivated. There could be something about the goal that could actually frustrate you. That's the truth. You understand? So you must be able to plan ahead for the setbacks. Always ask yourself, what can I do if XYZ happens? What can I do if XYZ happens? So you must learn to think this way. If things don't go as planned, who would I talk to? What would I do? When you don't plan for failure, when you set your goals and you don't plan for failure or setbacks, your default reaction is to give up. That's it. That's why we easily give up, because we didn't see the failure coming. We didn't see the setbacks coming. We didn't see the problem coming. And then the only way we can just react to it, we just break down. We just give up. So plan for failures. Plan for your setback. I'm not saying you should plan to fail. Have the right system. Have the right structure. However, if it doesn't work out, who would you do? Who would you talk to? Who would you meet? What would you do? All of this you should talk about. Now, let me give you an example. This might actually help some persons. Personally, I'm not a social media person, but somehow at some point last year, I had to tell myself, Grace, you've been working on yourself enough, right? But nobody will know what you can do. But most people are actually going through these issues, ABC issues, and you can actually help them. Well, how would you be able to do that when you don't even have a social media account? How would you be able to do that when you're currently here, you're here, and then the only people that gets to hear your voice are your WhatsApp people and all of that? I had to tell myself, Gracie, I know I don't like content. I don't really like, this is not even about content creation. I don't like social media. I'm not a social media person. But then somehow the Grace in me, who is a purposeful woman, right, who has a calling on her head, has to launch herself out there through her messages so that she can help as many people as she can. But that Grace has a weakness, social media. She doesn't like it. I can do other things, but not social media. For me, I think it's very boring. Like I don't find joy sitting down watching other people tell me stories about their life. I don't know. I feel like it's not a productive thing to do. You understand? But how did I really overcome this? Now I want you to go after this program. You can go to my page and watch my first videos, the first 10 to let's say 5 to 10 videos on my screen. Now I told myself, okay, Gracie, what's your problem with content creation? These are the questions that I said, Abig, I don't like I don't like the idea of changing clothes every time. Every time I'll be thinking of what to wear. I don't like the idea. When you see these people online, some of these people on social media, and you see them, especially people in my profession, right? In my feed as coaches, you don't see them dressing anyhow. You understand? Yes, of course, they are not this hyper, no, they're not fashionista, but they look good. Do you understand? They look put together and presentable. I mean, I don't have that time. Like, I don't have that time to start picking clothes to iron just because I want to make a 2 minutes video. So what did I do? Listen. I knew that I could get demotivated by this factor. I knew the things that could actually frustrate me in my content creation process. What did I do? I told myself, I said, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I will solve the problem. I brought out one nude top from my wardrobe, and I brought out a black skirt, and I brought out a black scarf. And I said, henceforth, this is my uniform. That's it. So these are stories. People laugh a lot. I don't know why people are laughing. I told myself, okay, Grace, what's more important? What's more important is showing up, putting your content out there for people, right? Okay, not to show them the clothes you have in your wardrobe, not to show them how beautiful your the fashion sense or your fashion sense. That's not the goal. The goal is to put your message out there. So henceforth, this nude shirt, this black skirt, and this black scarf is your uniform. And in fact, I had to choose one week, even though I have quite a few wigs in my house. I had just one wig, one particular wig I was always wearing, right? So I don't want to, I'm not here to tell you my story. This was just my way of ensuring that, okay, this problem doesn't happen. That's my fear. That was my fear, right? I had the fear. What if at some point I no longer I wear everything in my wardrobe? Why was I even thinking like that in the first place? You see, when you want to do something, you understand? Like I said, I'm not really the fashion person, but why was I even thinking like that in the first place? When you want to do something, your brain comes up with many stupid excuses to distract you, to discourage you. So you should plan for these things. Do you understand what I'm saying? Why was I even thinking about those things? Me, I don't even care how you rate me or how you judge me. It's none of my business. But why did all of that come to my mind? But however, I was still able to have a system. I was able to come up with a method to help solve that problem even before it surfaced. I hope you understand, right? So you must learn to think this way. So ask yourself, for the goals that you've set, okay, plan for setbacks. What if it doesn't work? What if it fails? What should you do? What must I do? I hope you understand me, and I hope we're all following. Now, let's move on. Don't worry, you have enough time for questions. Let's move on, right? What can I do? Okay, we've talked about this. Why goals often fail? Number 5. Number 5, lack of discipline. This one is very easy. Lack of discipline. Lack of discipline. Lack of discipline. And this is where all the sabotaging habits belong. The procrastination, the lack of focus, the poor time management, the indiscipline, and the other sabotaging habits. This is where they fall in. Lack of discipline. Now, let me tell us the truth, okay? Lack of discipline is actually the inability to control your actions, okay? Every time you hear the word discipline, I want you to think about self-control. Every time you hear discipline, think self-control. Now, between self-control, this is how I love link them together. Discipline is the result. Okay. I remember we've talked about it. We've talked about this before. Results just products of processes. Okay. A result is a product of a process. You did not arrive at the result by default or by accident or by chance. Something happened. You understand, that led to that result. So discipline is actually the result. Is the result of self-control, right? So self-control is the process. Okay. Self-control is actually the process that produces discipline. I hope you understand me. So when they say somebody is disciplined, it means that the person has they've over time they've built the capacity to control themselves. So discipline is basically lack of discipline, sorry, is your inability to control your actions, control your thoughts or habits in a way that helps you achieve your goals or follow through on commitments. Listen, for the people who don't like heavy definitions like me, listen, lack of discipline is your inability to control yourself. When you cannot control your thoughts, the thoughts in your mind, because it begins with your thought, right? You cannot control your emotions, your feelings, and then you cannot control your action. That's what lack of discipline is. So it means when we say somebody lacks discipline, it means the person lacks self-control. I don't know how you want to say it, but that's the truth. Okay, that's the truth. So when you hear the word discipline, I want you to think about self-control. Now, if you've watched my videos, we've talked about self-control over and over and over again. Just in case you're hearing me for the first time, please, let me tell you, I cannot teach you self-control. The way to learn self-control is actually by controlling yourself. The way to build discipline is by exercising discipline. So I can't sit down and say, this is how. No, you have to. Now, let's talk about it, okay? Discipline itself is like a muscle, okay? Yes, a muscle. You don't develop muscle, you don't build muscle all at once, right? Over time, per pound, you see here per pound of muscle and all of that, okay? So it actually takes discipline. It takes discipline to build discipline. What does it mean? Coach Grace, you're confusing us. It takes discipline to build discipline. What does it mean? Let me tell you, right? Now, like I said, discipline is like a muscle. So it doesn't happen all at once. You don't become automatically, you don't become disciplined all at once or by one action or by one attempt. No, that's not it, right? However, why I said it takes discipline to build discipline, right? And the only way to develop self-control is by really controlling yourself. The way to do it is to do it. There's no two ways about it. No matter how long I talk, no matter how much you hear me speak about this thing, if you don't practice it, you can't have it. Yes. So when we say it takes discipline to build discipline, this is it. At first, it's going to require some mechanical effort. What do I mean? I don't know if that's the right term to say, to use it. If that's the right term to use, or that's the right thing to say. It's going to require some mechanical effort. You'll be the one to push yourself. You'll be the one to push yourself to stand up, to read your book, push yourself to stand up, to take that course, right? You'll be the one to really push yourself. So first, it's you doing what needs to be done. You push yourself. Nobody will push you. You see, it takes discipline, right? It takes some self-control to build self-control. So you'll be the one to push yourself. You'll be the one to take the step, right? You'll be the one to open your phone and read the book, or open your computer, laptop, and follow the lesson or take that course, right? Instead of scrolling endlessly on social media. You'll be the one to stand up from your bed or your couch, turn off your television so you can focus on your work. Who will do that for you? Not me, not God. It's you. So that's the mechanical effort I'm talking about. So it's going to require some sort of effort, some level of energy from you. And over time, listen, learn the prioritizes pattern. Okay, when you push yourself over and over again, your brain adjusts to the pattern. It adjusts to the system, it adjusts to the pattern, it adjusts to the identity, the new habits that you're forming. And to some extent, it becomes automatic. Just like brushing your teeth has become automatic. Do you motivate yourself to brush your teeth? Children, their mother motivates them to brush their teeth. But now you've done it. You are 25 years old. You're 27 years old. And something you've done every day of your life for 27 years. You no longer need motivation to do that, right? So that's why you don't have the right to blame yourself or to call yourself all sort of names, especially before me. I don't like it. I prohibit it. I forbid it. If you haven't tried to push yourself, okay? If you haven't tried to push yourself, you don't have the right to say, oh, I'm not disciplined. You're not disciplined because you've never tried to be disciplined. You've not practiced it. So it's like a muscle. Do you understand? So the more you train yourself, every decision you take to do your task over scrolling unnecessarily on social media or doing something unnecessary, it reinforces your discipline. It reinforces the habits, the new habits that you're building. So I really cannot talk about this so much in such a way that it becomes part of you. No. Okay, I really can't do that. So push yourself, start pushing yourself, remind yourself, I'm building discipline, I'm building self-control. I want to learn to control myself. The only way to do it is to do it. Sometimes some of you come and say, Coach, I don't know how to pray, like I struggle. I said the only way to pray is to pray. The only way to learn how to pray is to pray. So the only way to do it is to do it, right? There are no two ways around it. Now let's move on. Consistency. Now I just want to drop a few things about consistency, right? Let me drop a few things about cool. Should I talk about it, or maybe I should just pass? Let me scroll past it and say something else.
Yes, ma'am.
Talk about it, ma'am.
Okay,
Talk
let's
about it.
consistency. Okay, thank
About
you.
it.
I want to talk about consistency in a way that you may not even like. I want to talk about consistency in a way that you may not like. You've heard so much about consistency, right? But I want to give you my own piece of meat, right? So now here's the thing. If you ask me, Coach, how can I stay consistent? I get this question a lot, and that's why I'm answering it. So please do not bring any question up about consistency. If I end up answering your question in this particular session, in this consistency stuff, you don't have to ask, please, if I end up answering your question. Now, sometimes I get questions like, Coach, how do I even stay consistent? My first answer would be, what do you want to be consistent in? Do you understand me? What's the object of your consistency? You want to be consistent. I want to be consistent. I want to be consistent. What do you want to be consistent in? Please know this and know this. Just know this and know it very well. There's a limit to how much you can take per time, especially if you're just starting. If you're just starting your personal development journey, like you've spent all your life doing a lot, and now you really want to start focusing on your growth. There's a limit to how much you can do per time. So the reason most of us struggle to stay consistent is because we are juggling multiple things more than we can handle. Consistency is about prioritization. I'm not here to give you magic steps I'm not 10 steps to staying consistent. That's not what I'm here to do. You hear these things all the time, right? They tell you the steps, the tips. Now I want to tell you the principle, right? What makes consistency possible? What makes consistency what it is your ability to deprioritize certain things so you can focus on the ones that matter most at a given time. Most of us were trying to do so much. You're handling so much more than you can chew, more than you can handle. You're only 27 years old, but the things on your head is so much that even a 40-year-old cannot carry. So please, what can you do? Yes, so it's time to decongest. Some of us, we're too full, we're congested, and that's why we're stuck. You need to decongest. You need to deprioritize certain things. Now, when I say certain things, okay? When I say certain things, don't make the mistake. Do not think I'm saying things that don't matter. Of course, it includes things that are not important. Yes, things that are not important. Secondly, it also includes things that are important, but not in that season of your life. They don't matter most in that season of your life. Now, let me explain. Let me explain. Okay. For example, this year, 2025, some months back, February, I think February, March, April, I prioritized my communication skills, right? Okay. I had to set a goal for my communication skills, right? And then I had a goal to be able to speak a certain way, express myself in a certain way. Okay. You understand? Can you hear me? I hope you can understand me. So
Yes, ma'am.
in those seasons, those 3 months, I was so deep in communication, books on communication, right? Few ones I saw online, right? Uh, TED Talks on communication, YouTube videos on communication, some paid courses and a few free courses on communication. I did all of that. But today, I tell you the truth. Today, here's the thing, okay? Today, of course, communication is one aspect of your life that you should continuously work on. True or false? True. However, this month, in fact, from November till December, I don't remember watching any video or listening to any TED Talk or reading any book on communication. Does it mean I've not been productive? Of course, I have been productive, but I had to deprioritize it so I can focus on other things. There are certain things that I'm working on now. Do you understand me? I hope you get my message. So you don't think when I say deprioritize, so you don't think I'm only telling you to deprioritize things that are not good. No, not important. No, there are certain things that are important, but in that season of your life, you have to be really sensitive. And this is why, listen to me very well. Okay, you see how I put it? I explained in detail. I told you that I set a goal for 3 months and I was able to achieve the goal, at least 80% of it. You understand? So I did not cheat myself. So you really have to be, that's why all your goals have to be time bounded. You have to say the first 3 months of 2026, I want to focus on these things and do them well. Give all yourself to it so that by the next 3 months, you can actually work on something else. And when you are deprioritizing, you won't feel like a failure. Who is following me? So when you're deprioritizing, you won't actually feel like a failure because you know, okay, at this point and in this season, I actually focused on this. So next month or in February, March, I might decide again to say, okay, fine. This month, my communication skills would be my top most priority for the month. And I want to do it, I'll do it well. Okay, God helping me, giving me the grace, I'll do it well and focus on it. And in the next 3 months, I'll deprioritize it again and focus on something else. Do you understand me? So you cannot, I'm just trying to tell you that the idea of doing many things at the same time, because some of us were actually starting our personal development journey. And then when you look at your life, you feel like a bag of failure and there is so much to work on. You want to work on your communication, you want to work on your mindset, you want to work on your your relationship, your people management skill, your ability to manage people and relationship. You want to work on everything. That is where you get the burnout. That's where you become frustrated. So pick your goal and say, this is what I want to do. This is my overall goal for 2026. However, in the first 3 quarters, I want to focus on this. In the second 3 quarters, I want to focus on this. In the third 3 quarters, I want to focus on this. Do you see why you should include the element of time in your goal? I hope you're understanding me now. You see how we're tying the notes together? Very good. Very good. Okay. Now let me say this, very important. All the smart people in the house, some of us are very smart, multi-talented. Listen, this counsel is actually for you. This is for you. When I say smart people, I'm talking about people that are really quick to learn things. Okay, I'm that person as well. Just in case you think you're not smart. You know, some of you never see the good in yourself. I'm smart to some extent because there's a level to smartness. I'm smart, right? But there's a level to it, right? So I'm still smart, if you ask me. right? Some of us are very quick to learn things. You understand? Somebody teaches something quick, you grab it. You even know it's better than the person, right? Now listen to me. Listen and listen carefully. There is one thing many smart people, many talented people have in common. It's called confusion. You know, when you are that one person who can do many things, you're capable of many things, you might just end up confusing yourself, right? You're into this, you're into that, you're into this, you're doing everything at the same time. You're selling this, you're selling that, you're selling this. That's actually good. Listen to me, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, okay? I did that at some point. It's a phase. It's called the exploration phase, okay? We all go through that phase. I hope you understand me. So you just know where I'm coming from and where I'm headed. It's called the exploration phase. You understand? So just because you're trying out many things, just because you're at the point in your life where you're doing many things at the same time, it doesn't mean you're confused. Do you understand? I'm not saying you're confused. I'm not saying you're useless. You can be confused. It's okay. It might just mean that you're confused. However, it doesn't mean that you are useless. It doesn't mean that you're not smart or you're not talented. No, that's not the truth. It's the exploration phase of your life. Prior to this time, I had done many other things in school. You understand? A few businesses in school and all of that. And I do not regret them. Okay? I do not regret. I do not. I made a lot of money, even though I couldn't manage it. So I had idea of selling, but I didn't have the idea of protecting your money. You understand me? So I learned a lot from that phase of my life. However, it's important you know this. There's a big difference between the exploration stage of your life and the identity stage, and then the mastery stage. So wherever you are currently, it's fine. So don't come and say, oh, coach, I feel like you're talking to me. Yes, I might be talking to you, but the exploration phase, it's actually for a reason, okay? It's a process that should eventually usher you into the identity phase. What's the identity phase? Well, okay, fine. What's the exploration phase? Okay, now I don't know me. I don't know myself. I don't know what I'm good at. I just want to try a couple of things. I want to do a few things, you understand, just to find my feet, to know what I like, my passion. So I'm just doing it. And for you, it might not be like this. For you, it might just be that you're struggling. For you, you might think, okay, I'm struggling. Okay, life is not fair to me. So I'm doing multiple business. That's not the truth, though. Whether you accept it or not. For you, you might think that's it. Okay, I'm struggling. God is punishing me. I have to do so many things to survive. Come on, listen to me. You are in your exploration phase. So if you're going through that phase, you better do it smartly. You understand? You better learn the lessons and do it with the whole of your heart. You understand? You don't have to see it as a curse. It's not a curse. It's a phase. I went through that phase. Everybody will go through that phase.
Okay.
But that phase is supposed to lead you to the identity phase. You understand? What's the identity phase? Then you now say, okay, I think this is what God is calling me to do. More importantly for us believers, that's the identity phase. Please mute yourself. You say, okay, this is what God is calling me to do. I think this is where my strength lies. I have passion for this. I think I have talent for this. I think I have gift or calling for this. That's the identity phase. And then over time, you start what? You start learning, okay? You start building your identity around that area. You start building, carving a niche for yourself, carving the identity for yourself around that expertise or profession. That's the identity phase. And then the mastery phase, okay, you already know your identity, you already know where you are, okay? And then you start developing yourself deeply, okay? Not on the surface, not superficially, do you understand? Deeply in that skill, that expertise, that chosen area, that field or profession. I hope you understand me. So I don't know the phase you are in, but know this. You know why I'm saying all of this? I actually did not intend to share this so that some of you will not come and tell me, oh, you can be trying. Listen, it's actually for smart people, like I said. You understand me? It's actually for smart people, like I said, people who can do many things at the same time. My advice to you is just because you believe that you can do something doesn't mean you should try it. Okay? Because you know that if you try, you will do it and even do it better than the person who taught you or your teacher, it doesn't mean you should do it. Some of these things are actually distraction. And let me even say this. This is very, very profound. Some of us, it's about time we move from the exploration stage to the identity phase, but then we are still confused. Why? Because you don't even you don't yet understand, or you're not sensitive to your season, the season of your life. It's about time where you sit down and say, okay, I have done these 3 things or 4 things for the past 4 or 5 years. I've done this and this and this. I think this is where my strength is. This is where God is calling me to. This is what I want to do. So then you're carried away. You're overstaying your exploration phase. You've stayed so long there that you don't want to move to the identity phase. I hope you understand what I'm talking about. So if you're smart and this thing is, if I learn this thing, I'll become good at it. Like me or to some, yes, I only have to give it my time. But that doesn't mean you should do it. Some of these things are actually distraction. Some of us were distracted. And I can tell you, for most of us, okay, according to God's word, according to God's ordination for your life, according to the things God has written concerning you, even before you were born, even before you were conceived, some of the things that you're building your identity around are actually distractions. They are not the main thing you've been called to do. And this is where a lot of confusion comes. That's why after practicing a particular thing or profession in 5 years, for 5 years, you start to see, it dawns on you that this is not my thing. Like, what am I even doing here? You don't want to do that. You don't want to make those kind of mistakes. Time is time is priceless. You don't want to waste your time on the wrong things. Do you understand me? So for the children of God here, I believe we're all children of God. For my spiritual my participants for the 1 month spiritual program, I hope that you can listen, right? You want to be careful. You understand? So what phase are you in currently? What phase are you at? Okay. Is it time to move? Do you think you are in your exploration stage? And do you understand? So you can actually talk to your stewards. You can talk to your stewards about that. Talk to your steward. You can talk to your coach. If you're here, you have pastors, you have people who can actually mentor you. You can talk to them, right? Just to ensure that you're doing the right thing. Now let's move on. Let's move on. I'm almost done. Sister Rachel, please forgive me, ma. Please. Forgive me. I have sinned against you. Please forgive me. Okay. Can you see my screen at all?
No, ma.
Can you see?
No,
No,
ma.
ma.
No, ma.
No, ma.
Okay, please. I don't know why it stopped. Let's move on. Okay. Start progress. Start broadcast. Who is seeing my screen now? You can see my screen, right? Yes.
Yes, ma. Yes, ma.
Now remember where we stopped, okay? Remember where we stopped. Where should I begin my self-improvement journey? The first one, I said what? Self-discovery. The second one, I said what? Vision, right? So on that vision, we talked about your goals, right? And I had to tell you how to set your goals. And we talked about other issues that often leads to failure, okay? Failure to achieve our goals. I hope you can hear me. If you can hear me, please let me see your emojis. Thank you. So this is the step 3. The first one, self-discovery. The second one, define your vision. The step 3, where should I begin my self-improvement journey in 2026? Your identity. Build your identity. Build your identity. Your identity. Very, very important. Build your identity. I don't know if anybody can hear me. Why is it my network?
We can hear you, ma.
I can hear you.
Now we can hear you.
We can hear you, ma'am.
I'm not hearing
We
anything.
can hear you.
Bold and clear.
Okay. Okay. Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank
We
you
can
so
hear
much. Now let's talk about identity, building your identity. The third step you should take, you understand, to improve yourself in 2026. Build your identity. Now, when I say identity, I don't mean what you want people to know you for. Okay, like they tell you, some of your TikTok coaches tell you, carry yourself the way people want, the way you want people to carry you. Hey, when I get many teachers, you guys are trying, and that's why most you're hearing different things at the same time. Now, when I say identity, I'm not saying what you want to be known for, okay, or who you want to be. We already talked about who you want to be in the vision, in your vision, true of us, who you want to be seen as. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Take a look at your goals, okay? After you've defined your vision and you've set your goals correctly, well, take a look at them. Look at your goals. Look at your visions and ask yourself this question. Ask yourself, who is the person capable of fulfilling this vision and achieving the goals? Who is the person? Who is that person who is capable, who has the capacity, the capabilities of fulfilling the vision you have defined and the goals you have set for yourself? What habits do they have? What is their mindset like? What would they spend their time on? That is your new identity. That is the identity I'm talking about. Okay? Not the one you developed from your selfish ambition and all of that. Carry yourself like this, people will carry you like that. Well, I know how to teach that too. And if I teach that, you might not live here. It's a very interesting thing. People who know me, they know me for that, actually. But that's not the thing. Okay, that's not the thing here. When we talk about identity, it's not about how you want people to perceive you. It's more about the version of you that aligns with your goals. And here's the thing, it's a really hard one. I struggled with this. I'm going to spill out the truth in this meeting. I really, really struggled with this because the fight is with yourself. You know, when you're not fighting someone else, you're fighting yourself. The struggle is with yourself. You need to fight negative perceptions you have about yourself. You need to fight the misconceptions you carry about yourself. You need to fight your limiting beliefs. You need to fight your doubt. You fight your fears until you begin to look like that person. Do you understand? So that's it. So when I say identity, it's simple. Okay? So my identity will be different from yours. Why? Because we have different vision and we have different goals. So you should put your goals and your vision before you, in front of you, and say, okay, fine. Who is the person capable of achieving these goals, fulfilling this vision? I'm not saying you should I'm not asking you to how they smile, how they walk. That's what they teach you for your confidence teachers. That's how they teach you how they smile, how they walk, the kind of handbags they carry. That's not the thing, right? No, that's not the thing, okay? You want to look at their core values. You want to look at the things to prioritize, the kind of visions they make, the decisions and choices they make, so you can build, okay, the identity you want. Now, here's the question. Some of you will still come up and ask me, Coach, so how can I build my identity? There's so much to be said about this, but I'm going to tell you a few things. Now, if you ask me that question, the first answer I would give to you is, think about it. How did you arrive at your current identity in the first place? And when I say identity, your identity is not who you are. It's who you think you are. You understand? Because who you are to me might be different from who you think you are. So your identity is who you think you are, what you think about yourself, because that's your identity. That's the one that shapes every other thing. That's the one that shapes your life, your that influences your behavior. Okay? So the question is, how did you arrive at your current identity? That's the same way to build your identity. Think about it. Today, your behaviors, your actions, your choices, they all shaped the identity you carry, the current identity you have. Okay? So every decision you make cast a vote for your identity. Every decision, every choices, every behavior cast a vote for the identity you live by today. Okay? So again, look at your vision, like I said. Take a look at your goals. Who is the person who achieves this goal? Oh, think about, okay, for me personally, based on my goals and my vision, right? The person who achieves this goal, the person who can fulfill this vision is actually a God-fearing person. You know what that means? It means that every time I decide to honor and respect God in my decision, in my behavior, it's actually cast a vote to that identity. Does it make sense? I hope you understand. So every time, if you say, okay, the person who achieves this goal or fulfill this vision is actually a consistent person. Every time you choose to do your task, instead of scrolling mindlessly or doing something unnecessary, you're actually telling yourself, you're registering that identity in your brain. You're telling yourself, this is who I am now, and this is how I need to act. So every behavior, every action, and every step, every decisions, every choices you make cast a vote to your identity. Know this, know the truth. So we cannot talk about habits and without talking about identity. And this is where most of us struggle. Let me talk about this in a few seconds, right? This is why some of us actually will struggle. You're struggling to break some habits. You're struggling to dehabitualize certain things, certain behavior in your life. Think about it. Okay, let's say one of your problem is procrastination. You procrastinate and then you want to overcome it, but then you still carry the mindset or you carry the identity of the procrastinator. So one of the ways you can actually dehabitualize certain behaviors or break certain habits, right, is by changing the identity that reinforces that behavior or strengthens that behavior. So how do you solve the problem? I had mentioned it earlier while I was talking. So I think my note is not well arranged. That could be the problem. How do you solve the problem? Take on your new identity, right? So remember, I had asked the question, how do I build my identity? And I said, this is how you build your identity, by your behaviors and your actions and all of that. And I said, it's going to be a big struggle for you because you will fight. You have to fight your emotions. You have to fight your fears. You have to fight misconceptions. You have to fight your limiting beliefs and your sabotaging thoughts about yourself and all of that. Okay. Now, this is what we are going to do. As you step into 2026, you want to take on your new identity. Do not wait, okay? Do not wait. Like I said, it's a big struggle. It's going to be a big struggle. You know why? Because every time you catch your brain criticizing you, especially your inner critique, the voice that speaks against you, the voice that condemns, that judges, that criticizes you, that's your inner critique, right? So one of the things you want to do as you step into 2026, you don't want to wait for 2026. You don't want to wait until you build the identity, okay? You already have your vision, you have your goals, and then ask yourself, and then as you step into 2026, you want to take on your new identity. You're going to force your brain to take on your new identity, even though you are just starting to work on it. Okay, don't feel intimidated. I tell you the truth, the struggle is real. You understand? Your brain will first other people judge you. Your friends who know you to be very indisciplined and very unpresentable, very disorganized, like the ones who can actually call you and say, "Where are you? Come, let's go and buy suya," and then you just jump out. You understand? So those, when you tell them, "Hi, I'm working on something," like, which did this one become serious? Like, when did you become serious? So they will mock you, right? It's okay. I actually suffered that as well. Get used to it. In fact, your brain will do more to you than they will ever do to you. Your brain will do more to you. Your brain will judge you. Your brain will bring pictures. It will bring up, it will resurrect past your thoughts, imaginations, thoughts, especially thoughts of your past failures, how you were embarrassed, how this happened to you, and all of that, just to demotivate you, right? Just to prove to you that you're not who you claim you are. So it's normal. Get used to it. You fight this. It's normal. You understand? However, as you step into 2026, carry the identity. So as I step into 2026, I carry the identity of a person who fears God, right? A person who is consistent, a person who is growth, a person who is focused, a person who is productive, useful, a person of high value. You understand? But listen, I'm not here to teach positive confession. That's not what I do here. So while you do all of that, while you do this, carry this in your mind. This is me. This is who I am. You understand? But while you do all of that, remember, what does the work is your claim, right? Means that you don't have to wait until then. No, you don't have to. You want to go into 2026 carrying the identity of the person who is capable of achieving your goals, fulfilling your vision. You understand? Do you understand me? And then you let all your actions, all your decisions, your choices, your behavior, your actions align with that identity. Does it make sense? Do you understand it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
The last session of this meeting. Where should I begin my self-improvement journey in 2026? Step what? Step 4. What's 4? Simple. Can you see it? It's on the screen. Can you see it? Prioritize personal development. Prioritize. We've come to the last session. Prioritize personal development. Prioritize personal development. That's it. So what's my conclusion on this? Listen, there's a person God has called you to be, right? You have a vision. That's a calling upon your life. You have your vision. You have your goals to fulfill. It's important you understand that even though that you are claiming to be that person who is able to do all of those things, it's still possible that you lack some of the skills. You lack the skills. You lack the character, right? You understand? You lack the skills, the character, mindset that will bring you closer to your vision, right? That will bring you to the fulfillment of your vision or to the attainment of your goals. This is where personal development comes in. Personal development is the conscious effort of improving yourself. What will you be improving? You should not be confused. You should know what you're improving. You already have your goals. You already have your vision. You have your strengths already stated out. You have your weaknesses. So you want to improve your strength. You want to work on your weaknesses, especially those weaknesses that could actually be a limitation for you, that could actually limit you from fulfilling your vision, becoming who God wants you to be, right? You want to work on those things. This is what personal development is about. It's actively improving yourself. Now, this I cannot do for you. Yes, I'm a personal development coach. I teach personal development, but I cannot develop of your behalf. I can't do that for you. Do you understand me? You'll be the one to go online and watch YouTube. You'll be the one to go to Spotify, listen to podcasts. You want to listen to podcasts, and you want to ensure that everything you'll be doing in 2026 actually brings you to what? To the attainment of your goals. Do you understand me? So if that's in that season of your life, or in that quarter, in that month, you're working on you want to go on Spotify, right? search for communication. You want to search for communication podcast. You want to search for communication TED Talks. You want to search for communication documentaries, videos. You want to read communication books. You want to follow communication coaches and listen to them while you are on their pages. Sometimes when I stumble upon some people's posts, I go to their page. While I'm there, I hold my book and I'm writing. I'm not reading, I'm writing. I'm learning something from somebody's page on TikTok. So that's what personal development is. I can't say much about it because I don't have the time and I don't want to dwell here, right? So you want to prioritize personal development. That's how you can improve yourself. Listen, I want you to notice the progression. We started from self-improvement. We started from self-discovery because obviously you cannot develop or improve something you don't know, right? And then we moved on to vision. And then from vision, we moved on to identity. And then from identity, we moved on to personal development. Every other thing we talked about, the goals and all of that, those things, let's just say those ones are bonus, right? The core important things, I just needed to first self-discovery, secondly, your vision, thirdly, your identity, and then prioritizing personal development. That's all. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you. Thank you so much, moderator. I'm really sorry, my apologies.
Thank you so much,
sorry.
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We love you much.
More grace.
Thank you, ma'am.
I have a question.
We love
Thank you, ma'am. I love
Thank you
you.
very much. God bless you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, mate. Thank you, ma'am.
Please can we mute our mic?
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I learned so much. I learned so much. Thank you, ma'am.
You, ma'am.
Thank you.
We love you, ma'am.
Thank
We
you.
love you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Mrs. Grace, for that session. I want
Thank
to believe
you,
that we
ma'am.
want